The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, folks. Welcome to The Right Side. Doug Billings here. Today on the program, just a little bit of detail about Alina Habba and the way that the courts have blocked her appointment by President Trump to be the New Jersey U.S. attorney. I'm going to get into why this lawfare is happening, what to do, what Trump's strategy is, and what's next with possible solutions to this situation. It's a big one. These radical judges stepping out of line again, trying to legislate from the bench. Not at all what the Founding Fathers had in mind. Ladies and gentlemen, The Right Side with Doug Billings is now upon you. Are you ready? Let's go.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hey everybody, my name is General Mike Flynn, and I'm here to do a big shout out for my great friend and one of the best in the business, Mr. Doug Billings. Right Side with Doug Billings, Right Side with Doug Billings. Doug is the future of the airwaves when it comes to independent broadcasters and podcasters. He is the new Rush Limbaugh. He's exactly what America needs right now, looking for honesty, looking for wisdom, looking for truth, looking for patriotism. Listen to Doug Billings at Right Side with Doug Billings. God bless you and God bless America, and thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are winning. We're winning, winning, winning. Welcome to The Right Side with Doug Billings. Are you ready?
We are not liberal snowflakes who melt away in the face of tragedy, adversity, and challenge. We are a covenant nation under God, and His divine providence is not dead and it's not gone. It is living within each and every one of you. And you will bring it to life in such a way that the world has never seen before. We never back down. We never give up. We march forward.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate you. The story today that's straight out of the radical left playbook of sabotage and obstruction, chaos, the whole thing, right out of their playbook. I'm talking about the latest hit on President Trump. This time a court ruling against Alina Habba, serving as the United States attorney in New Jersey. Now, New Jersey, a blue state, it's got its own problems, but this isn't just a legal hiccup here. This is a full frontal assault on President Trump's ability to drain the swamp and put America first, and to put key patriots and key allies of his, as is the right of any president, in positions that are important. So let me break this down for you. It's an important issue because the fake news media and the talking heads on social media are spinning this as some kind of a neutral constitutional thing. But we know better, don't we? And I'll tell you why. This is lawfare, plain and simple, lawfare, designed to tie Trump's hands and keep the deep state in control. That's what it's all about. And that's the only agenda item the radical left has. They have no policy, no platform, no politics that is out there, that is set and ready to benefit the American people. That's why they do the nonsense like no King's marches and have riots whenever it's convenient. And they have no rudder. They have no sense of direction. So here is what happened. Today, December 1st, 2025, a 3-judge panel in the U.S. Court of Appeals in the Third Circuit unanimously ruled that Alina Habba was unlawfully serving as the United States Attorney for the District of New Jersey. This panel affirmed that, if you're from Raytown, Missouri, that means they agreed with a lower court's decision to disqualify her, saying that the Trump administration's method would basically let anyone fill that role indefinitely without proper checks. Now, the problem, of course, is in the Senate with the approval process for all of Trump's picks. That's where the ultimate problem lies. I'll get there in a minute. But Habba is a fierce Trump loyalist. She was his personal defense attorney during the Russiagate hoax, the 2 hoax impeachments, and all of the trials, the sham trials and the witch hunts that President Trump had to endure. She was right by his side. So Trump appointed her temporarily at first, but when that temporary time frame expired, Then Attorney General Pam Bondi steps in, and she reinstated Habba after Trump had fired the court-appointed United States attorney in that position. So why? Okay, because in blue states like New Jersey, the Communist Socialist, formerly known as Democrat Party Senators Cory Booker and Andy Kim, are blocking every single Trump nomination with their ridiculous blue slip, which is basically giving them a veto power over the executive branch. Habba never had a shot at a Senate confirmation because these radical liberals won't sign off on anyone who's nominated by Trump or who puts America first. Now, the judges involved here, 2 appointed by George W. Bush and 1 appointed by Barack Obama. During the oral arguments surrounding this that were held in October, these judges grilled the district, the DOJ lawyer, the Department of Justice lawyer, calling the whole setup, quote, a potential circumvention of the Constitution's appointments clause. Okay. The administration argued back that they were using overlapping federal vacancy laws precisely as Congress intended. No evasion here going on, and it's just smart maneuvering of people who are in key positions. But the other side, represented by some veteran D.C. lawyer who's made a career out of challenging Trump on everything, said that Habba had no authority to prosecute cases. And the court bought it. Hook, line, and sinker. They called this a, quote, red flag for indefinite appointments. Look, ladies and gentlemen, this isn't about the Constitution. It's about stopping Trump from cleaning house, from draining the swamp, from stopping the radical liberal progressive agenda in a state that is overrun by corruption and liberal policies. That's what this is about. Let me tell you why this matters. This ruling is unprecedented. In the history of this republic, nothing like this has ever happened. Never before has a president been treated like this, fought at every turn by the radical Communist Socialist, formerly known as Democrat Party, which has gone full anti-American. Now, folks, with anyone with any shred of intellectual maturity can look at anything that these radicals have done. And I'm talking about this party that we used to call the Democrats. I call them the Communist Socialists, blending communism and socialism. Look at anything they've done over the past 8 years or longer. I can show you no evidence of anything that they've done that is for the benefit of America. In fact, it's the exact opposite. They want to dilute America's identity. They want to dilute our society and our culture. They want to, in the words of their dark messiah, Barack Obama, fundamentally transform America. And when they say that, they mean fundamentally transform America away from Providence and away from the intent of the Founding Fathers. Folks, evidence of the obvious is sufficient. Just look at what they say and look at what they do. Think about it. Presidents like Reagan or even Clinton appointed U.S. attorneys. They had some give and take in the debate process and the approval process. But under Trump, it is total war. The left can't stand President Trump. They genuinely dislike him and are possessed by Trump derangement syndrome because he's back in the White House. He's exposing their globalist agendas. He's enforcing borders, protecting America, bringing back law and order, prioritizing American workers, putting America first, bringing in more money in foreign relations deals and manufacturing deals and relations than any president in the history of our country. And he's putting an end to that mantra of fundamentally transforming America. That's what they're angry about. So it's a full stop for them. They are under direct orders to prevent this from happening. They don't even believe that we're a republic, ladies and gentlemen. Show me a clip of them, anybody in the elected class or the media that support the radical liberal movement in this country. Show me a clip of them calling us a republic. They don't do it. Habba was ready to take real issues on I mean, really get to work. Opioids, fentanyl, the gang violence in New Jersey, child trafficking issues, the monsters that do that, maybe even probing some of that state's shady dealings in their own state governments. But nope, the courts step in to protect the status quo. This is the same deep state that gave us the Russia hoax, the sham impeachments, and now they're using judges to block loyal appointees from positions that any president should be able to fill. And it's not just Habba. Look at similar cases around the country. In Virginia, Lindsay Halligan. Now, we all learned her name last week because she's the attorney who was handling the James Comey and Letitia James cases. She was thrown out and because ruled that she was serving unlawfully, and that the administration is now appealing that decision, of course. In California, a gentleman by the name of Bill Sala facing the same kind of pushback. Trump even fired a guy by the name of Eric Siebert because, and this was in New Jersey, and that's why Alina Habba is in the mix, fired Eric Siebert because anyone who gets along with Democrats and has their approval, in Trump's estimate, might be disqualified anyway and not fully on our team. So Trump fired him. And let's face it, if the communist socialists, formerly known as Democrats, like you, somebody like Eric Siebert is probably not fighting as strong as he should for the right side. So these blue state senators are abusing what's called the blue slip tradition, literally a blue slip of paper, which isn't even in the Constitution. It's just a Senate courtesy that's been weaponized into a veto. It's a gentleman's agreement that came about in the early 1900s in the Senate. Republicans play nice every time that the Democrats are in power in the White House. The Republicans will certainly go through the vetting process, but they generally approve and appoint every nomination that a Democrat president puts forth. The Democrats don't. They block everybody, especially if it's President Trump in the White House. They want to keep their own cronies in power. And so what does this mean for us? What does it mean for America? It slows down justice. It leaves the U.S. attorney spots vacant or filled by holdovers and leftovers that won't rock the boat, that won't put America first, that won't do the hard work of what I call determined patriotism. It empowers the deep state to continue their anti-Trump agenda, dragging out prosecutions or letting corruption slide, failing to prosecute with extreme prejudice violent criminals, drug dealers, child traffickers, and the like. And in the off chance that these people are prosecuted under the liberal watch, they will be given light sentences if they're sentenced at all, and if they are, they're let out early. They want the chaos, ladies and gentlemen. There's no other conclusion we can draw. The radical left movement in this country wants chaos. Just look at what they've done. From open borders to canceling police, defunding the police, from failure to prosecute these criminals with extreme prejudice, allowing child and human trafficking to flourish, allowing the drugs to flow through the country, not putting America first in foreign policy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What other conclusion can we draw than the liberals want chaos? And I think they want it because they believe chaos will cause, they believe that it will cause us to believe that the government, the big government, is the only thing that can save us. We won't let that happen, folks. And they see Trump dismantling the big government every chance, and especially during that shutdown that we just had. Trump fired thousands of bureaucrats in government. So this, beyond that, this can set a dangerous precedent, making it harder for any future president to appoint people that he wants without Senate rubber-stamped approval from the opposition. But for Trump, it's a setback in blue states where he needs strong prosecutors to enforce the America First policies that he's putting in place. The left is terrified of what Habba might uncover. Maybe ties to their own scandals or failures in handling crime, such as I've mentioned. But here's the good news, ladies and gentlemen. Trump isn't backing down. Would you think that he would? he's got options, and he's the master of fighting back. First, the appeal process is right there, and that's what's going to happen almost certainly. Request a full panel review of the Third Circuit or take it straight to the Supreme Court, where he's got a good, solid, conservative majority. I know some of them are question marks, but still, the odds are in our favor. The Supreme Court, who understands what the Appointments Clause in the Constitution really means, and that it's not meant to paralyze the executive branch. Secondly, they can push for Senate reforms. They can ditch this ridiculous blue slip nonsense entirely, which they should, in my opinion. Senate, judiciary committees headed up by people like Chuck Grassley. Chuck Grassley has attempted to do this in pieces, where he has tweaked the blue slip tradition before judges were chosen. So why not do it for U.S. attorneys as well? Trump can urge the Republicans to speed up the process, maybe bundle nominations into one, or use the recess appointment. Now, there's an option, too. Recess appointments work. They're about ready to break for the Christmas season, and during those breaks, the president can appoint anybody without any approval process required, and those choices can last up to 2 years without confirmation. So that's another option. So strategically, focus on the red states first to build momentum and then circle back to the tough ones. We've got the midterms coming up, so we've got to begin to make some quick action here, get some quick results. And this is why we elected Trump, to shake things up, not to play by the swamp's rules or by the status quo. The radical left's obstruction is backfiring. It's waking more people up, first of all. It's pissing people off and waking them up to how broken the American system really is. We got to totally rally behind President Trump. Demand your senators to step up and keep the pressure on. Get rid of the blue slip tradition. It isn't just about one appointment, after all. It's about saving the republic from this commu-socialist tyranny that we are facing. Trump's going to win this fight because he's got the will, the smarts, and he's got the majority of the American people on his side, no doubt about it. And that's the real story about Alina Habba, ladies and gentlemen. Another example of the left's desperation to do everything possible to stop President Trump and his agenda because it's working to undo theirs. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, subscribe to my YouTube channel, please. Go over there to YouTube, at The Right Side Doug Billings. That's the handle for the channel, at The Right Side Doug Billings. And if you would, prayerfully consider contributing to over there on my website to the program. I never charge you, obviously, to watch this show, but do prayerfully consider setting up a $5 a month contribution so I can keep the show coming. It's given to you for free, but it does cost money to produce. That website is DougBillings.us. DougBillings.us. You can set up that $5 a month recurring contribution over there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I say it every day because I mean it. We are in this together for the Republic. God bless you. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the set of my show, Doug Billings. Hey, my good friends at EMP Shield, that's electromagnetic pulse, in case you're from Raytown, Missouri. Electromagnetic pulse could wipe out your home electrical system, could wipe out your vehicle. And thanks to the radical liberal agenda that was put forth under Administrator Biden and Vice Pretender Harris, there are lots of people in this country who want to do us harm. And maybe an EMP device would be their chosen weapon. But EMP Shield gives you a device that can protect you. This little baby here goes on your home outlets, a computer, a router, whatever you want to protect. And then they also have a larger model like this. You can still hold it in the palm of your hand that goes on your vehicle battery so that you can get out of trouble from point A to point B. EMPshield.com. Promo code Doug, ladies and gentlemen. Save yourself. Save your property. EMPshield.com. Promo code Doug. We're in this together, folks. Believe it. For the Republic. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.